Welcome back. You're still with us on Markets Today. Well, let's run you through the remainder of the headlines that we're tracking for you, which brings us to the fourth headline today. Britannia slipped close on 2% today as analysts flagged tightening margins caused by wheat and milk inflation. Manglam Malu is with us to run us through details of a couple of those reports. Manglam?
Well, for CLSA, they've downgraded Britannia. They already had an underperform rating on the stock, but they've gone ahead and downgraded it to sell now. The reason why they've done that is because they believe that there is a risk of margins missing consensus estimates. That's on account of high inflation in both wheat as well as milk. But the point to be noted is that wheat actually has corrected about 30% from the highs, while milk stays at near record high levels. So the impact of that on the margins is something that we will have to monitor. Consensus estimates margins at around 17.5% all of next year. CLSA believes that there is a downside risk to that, as a result of which they've also downgraded their EPS estimates by about 1 to 11%. What they're also uncomfortable with right now is the way the stock has moved over the last 1 year or so. A 30% up move means that there is limited room for an upside, as a result of which the target price that they have on the stock is 4,060 odd rupees.
Well, Manglam, we can't let you go at that, so stay with us. Yet another stock that was down was Nika. Analysts fear that Nika's core and beauty business margins could come under pressure as the company looks to expand to smaller towns. Tell us more about that, Manglam.
Well, that's an interesting one coming in on Nika as well. Macquarie has initiated coverage with an underperform rating, and the target that they have is about 115. Remember, at the peak, the stock was over 400 rupees, adjusted for the bonus, etc. So after a big correction, they've, they believe that there is further room for downside. Why is that? Because two big businesses of Nika, the core business, the beauty business, is where they're, worried about the margins out there. They say that there is a risk to beauty segment's margins as the company expands to smaller towns, expands offline presence, and at the same time, the competition threat from other large players looms as well. The other revenue driver of the company was supposed to be the fashion business, where they believe that their experience in analyzing physical retail companies makes them cautious on Nika's own brand focus and curation-led positioning in fashion, as a result of which they believe that the business prospects look relatively cautious, and limited operating history of the company with the need for growth investments may bring some more caution to their EPS estimates, and that is what explains their underperform rating on the stock.
Got that, Manglam. Well, moving to the fifth headline today, and stocks in focus. Mahanagar Gas jumped close to 8% after analysts shared its acquisition of Unison Enviro. Sonal Bhutra joins us to fill us in with more details and, more importantly, what a brokerage is making of this small acquisition. Sonal?
Thank you so much for that. Well, it is a big step because it's the first inorganic step which the company has taken, and it takes away from the issues regarding volume growth for the company as well. To give you the news, the company has gone ahead and acquired Unison Enviro for 531 crore rupees. It is an all-cash deal, and this is the city gas arm of Ashoka Bilcon, the other listed company as well. The company says this is done in order to expand their inorganic portfolio and get access to more geographical areas as well. Now, this particular company which they have acquired has access to 3 geographical areas comprising of Ratnagiri, Chitradurga, Latur, Osmanabad. So basically it is over Maharashtra and Karnataka. In terms of financials, for FY22, Unison's revenues were 89.5 crore rupees. They did make a loss of 25 crore rupees, but over years those losses have been contracting for the company. ICICI Securities says that these areas provide some exposure to both industrial and commercial segment, and that's the reason each of them could contribute around 0.2 to 0.25 MMSCMD individually to the volume portfolio. And by FY28, with further expansion and investment that Mahanagar Gas will put in here, this can add 1 MMSCMD to Mahanagar's volumes, which were at 3.5 MMSCMD in FY22 itself. Citi has a buy rating on the stock with a target price of 1,030 rupees per share. They do call it an expensive acquisition, 6.4 times trailing price to book, but they are positive on this one. It could be a good use of cash by improving MGL's growth outlook. It is still at an early stage in terms of growth, but they can scale it up further, and it also takes away from the perception around MGL that they are lacking growth aggression. So this answers that, plus additional volumes that will flow through will be positive for the company.
Okay, well, before we wind down then, Power Grid and Ashoka Bilcon were both surging in trade today. Vivek, what's caused that big move on both these two stocks?
Well, some important news flow coming in as far as Ashoka Bilcon is concerned. Number one, the company actually received the notification of award as far as development of DISCOM infrastructure is concerned, and this is from the South Bihar DISCOM. The total contract value for this particular contract is a little over 260 crore. More importantly, some news flow coming in as far as stake sale monetization is concerned. The company sold its entire stake that it had in Unison Enviro Private Limited to Mahanagar Gas Limited for 531 crore. Now, what is this company? Unison Enviro is actually a subsidiary company of Ashoka Bilcon. In this particular company, Ashoka Bilcon holds a 51% stake, while the remaining 49% stake is actually held by an arm of Morgan Stanley Infrastructure India. The other one to keep an eye out for, of course, is PowerGrid. Now, what's actually happened is the company has received the letter of intent for 2 projects on March 2nd. These particular projects are expected to be executed in the BOOT basis, that is the build, own, operate, as well as transfer basis. Both Ashoka Bilcon and PowerGrid were surging in today's trading session.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Vivek. And on that note, though, we'll have to wrap up on this edition of Markets Today. Thanks so much for watching.